From spreading pure lard on bread to making ketchup the star ingredient, these 25 forgotten sandwiches tell the real story of American survival. Number 1. Lard sandwich. Ever wonder what people ate when the cupboard was truly bare? Back in the Great Depression, families turned to something that might turn your stomach today: the lard sandwich. That's right, just plain animal fat spread directly on bread. Nothing else. For rural families, especially those in Appalachia, this simple combination became a survival staple when gardens failed and money disappeared. Quick calories were the name of the game, and lard delivered the energy needed for another day of backbreaking labor. Some folks tried to make these sandwiches more enjoyable by sprinkling salt for a savory version or sugar when a sweet treat was desired. Rural families who rendered their own lard at home claimed it tasted far superior to anything store-bought, making this necessity slightly more bearable. Number 2. Ketchup sandwich. While sugar-sprinkled lard might have satisfied a sweet tooth, another Depression-era sandwich became an unexpected childhood favorite through sheer necessity. Imagine being a parent with nothing in your pantry but a loaf of bread and a bottle of ketchup. What would you do? For thousands of American families, the answer was the ketchup sandwich, a humble creation that elevated a condiment from supporting player to starring role. Parents would spread this tomato-based sauce between 2 slices of bread, sometimes toasting the bread to create something children surprisingly looked forward to eating. What makes this particularly poignant is that for many children during the Depression's darkest days, the ketchup sandwich provided their only exposure to vegetable nutrition. Those few tomatoes processed into the condiment delivered a small nutritional lifeline when fresh produce was completely unattainable. Some parents got creative, adding a sprinkle of sugar to enhance the ketchup's natural sweetness, transforming economic desperation into a cherished memory. Number 3. Onion sandwich. From sweetened ketchup to something far more pungent, our next sandwich might make your eyes water just thinking about it. The humble onion sandwich wasn't just tolerated during the Depression, it was embraced, especially by coal miners and factory workers who needed affordable, portable nutrition. What made these eye-watering creations more palatable? The technique was crucial. Onions were sliced paper-thin and soaked in cold water to reduce their sharp bite. After patting them dry, they were placed between bread with just a smear of butter or splash of vinegar for added flavor, along with a sprinkle of salt and pepper. Beyond their distinctive taste, onion sandwiches pack surprising nutritional power. Rich in vitamin C and antioxidants, they boosted immune systems when fresh produce was scarce. The pungent aroma even served as a primitive security system in crowded workplaces. Few co-workers would risk stealing such a fragrant lunch. Number 4. Sugar sandwich. From maintaining vital nutrition to celebrating rare moments of joy, the Depression-era's simplest sandwich might surprise you with its emotional significance. After surviving on basic sustenance like onion sandwiches, families still found ways to nurture their children's need for occasional sweetness. The sugar sandwich, nothing more than bread, spread with butter and sprinkled with a thin layer of sugar, became a cherished treat during America's darkest economic chapter. This poor man's cake transformed ordinary bread into what many Depression-era children considered the highlight of their week. For some families, the appearance of a sugar sandwich signaled a birthday celebration or holiday when proper desserts were financially impossible. Number 5. Mayonnaise sandwich. When the pantry held nothing but bread and a jar of mayonnaise, American mothers created perhaps the most resourceful sandwich in history. Beyond those sweet childhood treats was a more practical creation, born from desperation: the mayonnaise sandwich. While we typically think of mayo as just a condiment, during the Great Depression it became the star of the show. This humble combination of bread and mayonnaise offered what desperate families needed most: fat and calories. Some creative mothers would whip the mayonnaise vigorously with a fork, incorporating air to make the spread appear more substantial on otherwise barren bread slices. Number 6. Mustard sandwich. Unlike mayonnaise with its risk of spoilage, mustard offered a safer alternative that played clever tricks on hungry minds. When a family's pantry held nothing but bread and a jar of mustard, a simple sandwich emerged that did more than just feed. It psychologically satisfied. This deceptively simple creation, just bread spread with yellow or brown mustard, packed such a sharp, tangy punch that it created an illusion of fullness when stomachs and wallets were equally empty. Factory workers particularly favored these sandwiches, carrying them in lunch pails where another secret benefit emerged. The vinegar and mustard acted as a natural preservative, keeping these humble meals safe during long, hot shifts without refrigeration. Number 7. Potted meat sandwich. From tangy mustard, we move to something with actual protein, though what kind of protein remains one of history's murkier food mysteries. Ever wondered why your grandparents never seemed bothered by those little cans of potted meat while you can barely stand the smell? The story behind this forgotten sandwich reveals how hunger changed what Americans considered acceptable food. Potted meat sandwiches were a testament to to the resourcefulness of the era, providing a way to stretch limited resources. This paste-like product was made by combining various meat scraps with gelatin and preservatives, allowing it to last for months without refrigeration. During the hardest years, a single small can could be spread across multiple sandwiches, often mixed with mayonnaise or mustard to extend it further. Number 8, Spam sandwich. If potted meat helped families survive, another canned innovation would completely transform American food culture. Spam hit store shelves in 1937 as the Depression lingered on and quickly became not just another protein source, but a genuine cultural phenomenon. Unlike other canned meats, Spam had staying power. During World War II, it transformed from budget-friendly protein into a patriotic choice. Government campaigns promoted Spam as a way for civilians to support troops by accepting meat alternatives, turning necessity into national duty. Number 9, Bologna sandwich. Those thin strips of fried Spam weren't the only meat-stretching miracle of tough times. The humble Bologna sandwich tells an equally powerful story about American resourcefulness during the Depression. While we might consider bologna basic lunch meat today, back then it was a precious protein source that families couldn't afford to waste. During the Great Depression, bologna, a processed meat product, became vital sustenance when fresh beef was financially unreachable. Families would purchase a single ring and slice it paper thin, stretching it across multiple meals. The now nostalgic technique of frying bologna until the edges curled up wasn't just about flavor. It was a clever visual trick that made nearly empty sandwiches appear more substantial on the plate. Number 10, deviled ham sandwich. Those little touches of dignity weren't the only way families transformed desperation into delicious necessity. While bologna made circular meals special, another creative solution was hiding in small metal cans across America. Deviled ham. The William Underwood Company had been producing this spicy spread since 1868, making it an established product long before hard times hit. What made this canned creation extraordinary was how it transformed mere scraps into something satisfying. The devil on its iconic wrapper wasn't just clever marketing. It represented the deviling process that added hot seasonings to otherwise bland meat. Number 11, olive loaf sandwich. If stretching meat with breadcrumbs was clever, what happened next was pure marketing genius. Depression-era food companies actually designed a meat product where you could literally see the cheaper filler ingredients, and customers loved it. Olive loaf wasn't hiding anything. Those distinctive green circles studding the processed meat weren't a manufacturing flaw. They were the selling point. This unusual creation combined ground pork and beef with green olives, creating a product specifically designed to feed more people with less expensive protein. Number 12, creamed corn sandwich. When meat wasn't an option, Depression-era families got creative with whatever they could afford from the pantry shelves. Canned creamed corn emerged as an unlikely hero in sandwich form, transforming what was normally a side dish into the main event. This sweet, starchy creation became a surprisingly popular sandwich filling during America's darkest economic days. The creamed corn sandwich offered a practical solution to the scarcity of fresh vegetables and high cost of meat. Parents would spread this shelf-stable, inexpensive canned good onto buttered bread, creating a meal that provided carbohydrates to combat hunger during long workdays. The creamy texture and sweet taste made it more palatable for children who often resisted eating unfamiliar foods during these lean times. Number 13, fish stick sandwich. The 1950s ushered in a frozen food revolution that would change how American families approached mealtime forever. As families emerged from Depression-era habits, Gorton's of Gloucester introduced a revolutionary breakthrough that transformed how Americans consumed fish, the humble fish stick. Unlike fresh fish that was messy, time-consuming, and often expensive, these uniform breaded rectangles offered a completely new approach to seafood. You could count out exact portions for each family member, placing the crispy sticks between slices of white bread with a dollop of tartar sauce or ketchup. Number 14, victory sandwich. While children happily munched on fish stick sandwiches in school cafeterias, their parents still remembered when making a sandwich was considered an act of wartime heroism. During World War II, the humble victory sandwich emerged as a powerful symbol of patriotic sacrifice. The government implemented a comprehensive food rationing program that transformed everyday meal preparation into a direct contribution to the war effort. Posters and radio broadcasts featured slogans like "Food fights for freedom" and "Eat less, serve better," urging citizens to embrace mealtime sacrifice as their battlefield. Women's magazines published official victory sandwich recipes that emphasized using seasonal produce and leftovers. These adaptable creations encouraged families to personalize their sandwiches based on whatever scraps were available, often just butter, mustard, and any vegetables on hand. Number 15, cheese dream. From edible patriotism to edible dreams, America's history of making do with less took on a different flavor during the Great Great Depression. Ever wonder what people did when even a simple grilled cheese sandwich became too extravagant for the family budget? The answer lies in something with a name almost too luxurious for its humble ingredients: the cheese dream. This Depression-era open-faced creation was simplicity itself: a single slice of bread topped with a thin layer of American cheese, then broiled until the cheese melted and turned slightly brown around the edges. The genius was in using just half the ingredients of a traditional grilled cheese while creating the illusion of a complete meal. Number 16. Macaroni and cheese loaf sandwich. Just when Americans thought they'd seen every creative way to stretch a meal, the 1950s food industry introduced something that defied culinary logic. Would you believe macaroni and cheese could be sliced like bologna? This strange creation, pasta and cheese formed into a sliceable loaf with bits of ham, represented America's complicated relationship with its hungry past. The manufacturing process combined everyone's favorite comfort food with deli meat practicality, creating something you could buy at the counter, take home, and use without cooking. For families who'd experienced years of food scarcity, this innovation offered psychological comfort disguised as convenience. Number 17. Peanut butter and onion sandwich. If you think a sliceable macaroni loaf sounds unusual, wait until you hear about the sandwich combination that might make your eyes water. Peanut butter and onion sandwiches became a Depression-era staple, not because they tasted good, but because this unusual pairing offered something precious during desperate times: complete nutrition when meat was simply out of reach. The preparation was surprisingly delicate. Onions weren't just chopped and thrown between bread slices. They were carefully sliced whisper-thin, often soaked in cold water to tame their sharp bite, then patted completely dry before being layered with creamy peanut butter. Number 18. Liverwurst sandwich. The curious thing about liverwurst wasn't just that people ate it, it's that many folks actually developed a taste for it. While most modern Americans turn their noses up at organ meats, Depression-era families discovered that this spreadable sausage was a nutritional goldmine hiding in plain sight. Think about this. Before the economic crisis hit, cuts like liver and heart were often considered less desirable. But necessity has a way of changing perceptions. Soon, these organ meats transformed from scraps into valuable protein sources that kept countless families from malnutrition. Number 19. Ravioli sandwich. From organ meats to pasta pillows, the next sandwich on our list takes a sharp turn toward Italian-American innovation. When Chef Boyardee introduced canned ravioli in the 1930s, nobody expected it would end up between bread slices. But desperate times sparked culinary creativity that still raises eyebrows today. The genius behind this unusual creation was simple. Canned ravioli offered a convenient, affordable alternative to homemade pasta when both time and resources were limited. For Depression-era families, the convenience factor was huge. Opening a can provided immediate nourishment without the fuss of making pasta from scratch. Number 20. Cold beans sandwich. While college students enjoyed their ravioli between bread, an even simpler creation sustained millions during America's darkest economic era. During the Great Depression, a sandwich made from nothing but canned beans and bread became a lifeline for families who couldn't afford meat or cooking fuel. This humble creation tells a powerful story about survival during the devastating Dust Bowl years. Canned beans became a dietary cornerstone primarily due to their affordability and widespread availability. With unemployment soaring and food prices remaining high, beans offered practical nutrition for families in impoverished shanty towns. The basic recipe couldn't be simpler: canned navy beans or pork and beans, mashed and spread between bread slices. Number 21. Tongue sandwich. From bean sandwiches to animal parts most people now discard, desperate times called for unusual meals. When every penny counted and no part of a slaughtered animal could go to waste, tongue became an unexpected hero in the battle against hunger. The process of preparing tongue revealed just how much work Depression-era families would invest when cash was scarce but time plentiful. Preparing tongue was a true labor of love, requiring hours of boiling to soften the tough muscle, followed by the meticulous task of peeling away the outer layer and finishing with precise slicing to create sandwich-worthy portions. Number 22. Corned beef tongue sandwich. Beyond simple boiled tongue sandwiches, some families possessed ancient preservation wisdom that elevated this humble cut into something remarkable. When Jewish and Eastern European immigrants applied their traditional brining techniques to tongue, they created a sandwich that not only lasted longer, but became a flavorful symbol of resilience against poverty. The corned beef tongue sandwich, a testament to resourcefulness during the Great Depression, emerged as a way to extend meat supplies and preserve food without refrigeration. This method, which involved curing the tongue in a salt brine with spices, allowed families to make the most of every part of the animal and extend the usability of meat products for longer periods, a crucial skill when resources were scarce. Number 23. Turkey and cranberry sandwich. When we think of turkey and cranberry cranberry sandwiches today, we picture casual post-holiday snacking. But that tradition wasn't born from convenience. It came from necessity. During the Depression, holiday meals required strategic planning that went far beyond a single feast. A turkey wasn't just Thursday dinner. It represented a calculated investment that needed to feed a family for weeks afterward. Families approached these special occasions with military precision. Every morsel of meat was methodically stripped from the carcass. Even the tiniest scraps were mixed with mayonnaise to create sandwich spreads that could extend across many meals. The cranberry sauce itself, often made from carefully foraged berries and precious sugar rations, was applied in paper-thin layers to make the limited supply last longer. Number 24. Curried sardine salad sandwich. Beyond holiday leftovers, another protein source kept Americans fed during tough times, and it came in a small metal tin. Canned sardines were a readily available and economical protein during the Great Depression, offering both affordability and the crucial advantage of a long shelf life. What separated struggling households from truly resourceful ones was the ability to transform these humble fish into something special. The curried sardine sandwich stands as proof that innovation often tastes best when born from necessity. The introduction of curry powder to American kitchens happened gradually but gained significant momentum after World War II. Military service abroad exposed American taste buds to exotic spices, forever changing what was considered acceptable flavoring. Number 25. Anchovy paste sandwich. Speaking of transforming humble ingredients, there was another fishy solution that required even less product to create maximum impact. Within the confines of a Depression-era kitchen, a single tube of anchovy paste became a potent flavor weapon that transformed ordinary bread into something memorable. Unlike sardines, which required a spoonful to make an impression, anchovy paste delivered intense umami flavor with just a whisper-thin application. Smart homemakers discovered that mixing the paste with butter created a spreadable concoction that stretched this concentrated ingredient even further. When families were fortunate enough to have eggs, they'd slice a hard-boiled egg and lay it over the anchovy spread, creating a complete protein meal from two simple ingredients.